As he had stared into the Colmoran's ugly maw, for one wild moment, Siv had wondered if everyone would be better off if it won. It would be a gruesome death, but quick. He almost felt he deserved to fall for failing his kingdom. But a visceral need to survive and protect kept him fighting. He wouldn't allow that revolting bastard to beat him. Not with Dara behind him. If he didn't defeat the monster, it would kill her next. Siv couldn't let that happen. Not to his Dara. He reached beneath Rumi's wing and took Dara's hand in his. Sword calluses textured her palm and index finger. Reminders of her strength and dedication. She shifted sleepily, but her breathing remained steady. Siv didn't move for a moment, holding Dara's hand, thinking about what would happen next. He was no longer the king. He was no longer betrothed to the treacherous Lady Tull. What did that mean for him and Dara? That large something shifted in his chest again. He eased back against the rough stones, ignoring the throbbing of his wounds and the sting of his memories. He held on to the thought of a future with Dara, one shimmery gold thread against the darkness, as he dropped to sleep. When Siv awoke, the world was quiet. Dara and Rumi were still asleep, and the wind had stopped. Fingers of silver stretched through the opening to the hollow, a trace of moonlight piercing the darkness. Siv released Dara's hand and crawled out from beneath Rumi's warm belly. The mountain glowed white. The moon was sliding down, almost at the crest of the nearby peak, but the air was crystal clear. Siv estimated he had slept for nearly 5 hours as the blizzard retreated. He felt refreshed, though his wounds ached worse than ever, and he was hungry. He'd probably be even hungrier if the stench of the dead Colmoran weren't still filling the air around their hollow. The snowfall had wiped away their tracks from the night before. Unfortunately, it also hid any sign of their pursuers. They had no way of knowing if the men had turned back or if they might encounter them somewhere farther down the road. Each switchback presented new opportunities to be captured, but they had to take the chance. Siv turned back to the hollow.
"Dara,"
he whispered.
"Are you awake? It stopped snowing."
Dara jolted upright, and Rumi scrambled off her, flapping his wings irritably. "How long was I asleep?" she said urgently. She looked disoriented, but as ready for a duel as ever.
"Not long enough, probably. What do you say we make some progress before it starts snowing again?"
Dara agreed and joined him at the entrance to the hollow. They shared some of the jerky and flatbread Vine had packed for them, then scrambled down the slope to the road. Dara seemed sprightlier than the day before. Hopefully with a bit more sleep, she'd be as good as new soon. She'd probably make him run laps or something as soon as she was healthy, but it would be worth it to see her back to her usual self. "Think we should travel off the path?" Dara asked. Siv scanned the mountainside. There was no sign of lights or movement anywhere. It felt as if they were the only people in the world.
"I think speed should be our priority right now," he said. "The lantern maker won't give up."
"No," Dara said, her expression grim. "He won't." They resumed their journey, walking side by side down the switchbacks, the deep snow crunching under their boots. The path narrowed at times, and they drew closer together, not speaking much. The moonlight faded, replaced by a pre-dawn gray. They continued deeper into the fissure, only sometimes able to see the bottom where the canyon wound down toward the lands below. Siv had made this journey many times before, but never in the depths of winter. Normally when he traveled to Trur with his family, they passed through blooming, verdant orchards and meandered back and forth down the side of King's Peak at a leisurely pace. Tough mountain ponies would carry their luggage, and Siv's grandfather would send horses to meet them at the bottom of the final stair. This was where the switchbacks of the trail ended, and a weathered stretch of fireworked stone steps descended the rest of the way to the bottom of the fissure. It was nerve-wracking enough to walk the final stair in the spring. Siv was not excited about taking those steps covered in ice. Rumi could melt them clear, but there was no sense in announcing their position with such fanfare. The tracks they left in the deep snow of the path were bad enough.